big show today.
Guardians
recap. We're going to do Browns talk with Leroy Horde coming up at 11:30. We have been challenged by our fearless leader, McNuggets, to get Leroy off the air by noon because we've got a busy second hour of the show. Now, here's the challenging part of that, okay? He said the last question we can ask Leroy is 11:52. That's the only way we finish.
He said 11:55, and then I said,
"Oh, okay, you changed
it." You compromise. I said 11:55. Both said 11:53. We compromised. The last question we will ask Leroy is 11:54.
All right,
and we will see if that means he's off the air at 12. We love you, Leroy.
Yeah. We do, but he can filibuster.
Yeah. Better than any politician.
That's his name, Phil A. Buster.
Hold us to it, chat. We ain't asking no questions.
But we do love him.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know where G. Bush is today.
Yeah, we're a little worried about him.
We are a little concerned.
This is not a joke, guys.
Yeah.
No, this is not a joke because normally if he has some neck and arm issues from his playing days, he's had a lot of surgeries, and there's been a lot of days where he's just woke up and he says, I just can't go.
Yeah.
Normally he lets us know that.
Always, yeah.
It's 5 minutes after 11. He wasn't on the morning call this morning.
Right.
We haven't really heard from him because typically if he's not going to be here, he would almost always call.
Always. And
so
he did
there's concern here. I don't know where the heck he is.
The only good news is there was a text from him at 8:30 this morning that he sent to me, Earl, and Steve about our post game last night.
Yes.
So I did see that.
And we've all tried to call him, but it goes right to voicemail.
It's going right to voicemail when we've tried to call him. So, G, if you're out there, we're
please
worried
call
about
us.
you. So
we're worried, for sure.
With us.
Also today, no fence riders. But this is Cavs edition. That's going to be fun.
Yes.
So it's kind of like the season preview. We're going to take a macro look at what we think the Cavs will be this year.
Yeah.
But we got to start with the Guardians and their very disappointing 5-1 loss yesterday. Can't say it wasn't fully expected. When the season started, nobody thought they would make it this far. Even when they were in the series with the Yankees, there was optimism, but nobody thought that they were realistically going to be able to hand it to this team. But then they went up 2-1, and I think it changed our viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. Your expectations change as the season goes.
Yeah,
right?
True. Yeah.
You know, if before the season I would have said, Jay, the Guardians are going to go to the playoffs, they're going to beat the Rays, they're going to lose to the Yankees in 5, you would have probably said, wow, what a season that would be.
Tito said he would jog to New York for Game 5 if he had known that.
So, but in the end, when they lose the game after losing 4, after being up 2-1,
crushing,
it's hard to feel good about the season in the moment.
Yeah. Yes.
We will look back and say, what a season.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it's tough.
And I was able to do that last night. I was able to say, wow, none of this was expected. They gave it was bonus baseball, really. And it was fun. But this is what kills me more than anything, and I know it's coming. We saw it in real time last night on social media. The decision of the series was who Tito was going to start in Game 5.
Yeah.
And clearly, and it is what it is, he made the wrong call.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that when we start.
Yesterday,
we weren't saying that yesterday. Now, we have the benefit of the results, so hindsight is always 20/20.
It was, you know what though? Because I was asked this question when I did Columbus radio yesterday. They was like, Civale's getting the start. How do you feel about that? And I said, to be honest with you, I trust Tito. Tito,
I did too.
Tito, he know it better than anybody, and the reason he's so successful is because he always trusts his gut, and it's been right most of the time. Yeah. So I'm not going to doubt him right now, and just.
But you know what, guys? In the end,
didn't work.
In the end, maybe it would have been different had Bieber pitched or had they started Eli Morgan and just done all bullpen.
That's what they should have done.
But in the end, they scored 3 runs in the last 2 games.
No, I know.
And that's not enough.
They didn't get it done.
You can't win that way.
And they were woeful with runners in scoring position.
I mean, you had in the was it what inning was it? They had bases loaded, 1 out when Ramirez came up. Was that the third, fifth, fourth? I can't even remember now.
Yeah, I think it was the 5th.
They had bases loaded, 1 out when Ramirez gets the sac fly, but they only scored 1 run. And then their last chance, was it the 6th or 7th? I can't remember now either off the top of my hed. Rosario Ramirez get hits to start the inning, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. They move over 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. You get a hit there, it's a 5-3 game. Could be a different game. Yeah. They couldn't get a hit.
No, that was definitely the difference. In fact, if you take out the 9th inning of Game 3, this was
we ain't scored
and even in that inning, and you don't apologize for them because they're liners in the books. But they didn't rip the cover off the ball in that 9th inning.
No.
They were all dinks and dunks.
Bases,
and they manufactured runs, and that was the team's heart showing itself.
Yeah.
I think one thing, and I know the fans don't play the game, but the fans impact what happens on the field, clearly. And I didn't like it in the moment, I hate it even more now. But Naylor and the whole rocking the baby.
And you can't get mad at Yankee fans for picking on them.
No, boy, they're awfully thin-skinned, though. My goodness.
I mean, our fans would be mad. If Naylor were playing for the Yankees and he had done that, our fans would have been mad too.
Naylor actually cracked a smile at one point, so at least he's able to laugh at himself here.
Naylor said he liked it, and Garrett Cole said he enjoyed it too. They asked Garrett Cole after.
No, I know.
I kind of like
gamesmanship.
it.
It is.
Whatever.
It's a different game too. 10 years ago, baseball it would have been even worse.
I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Naylor takes one from Cole. I mean, it wouldn't shock me down the line.
I don't know. They won.
I don't like that. I'm not in favor of that.
You think Cole is that mad about it?
Well, you saw his post-game reaction. Yeah. His post-game reaction was whatever, but he did kind of laugh it off, too.
He laughed it off and then said, to be honest, it was kind of cute.
They won, so who cares?
And they won, so he has no animus towards Naylor now. He got the last. That's the thing. And we've all played sports, and we all know how to internalize our own excitement in high points and how to internalize our low moments as well. You don't throw your glove when the game's over. You don't flip your bat on a walk-off home run. It's just not good decorum. I got to tell you, I want to hate Aaron Judge. I can't.
Oh, he's not hateable.
I mean, he is just not hateable at all. No. And when he hits a home run, it's all about business. He puts his head down. He runs the bases. Before he comes to home plate, he does a quick sign of the cross, and that's that. I'm fine with that.
I don't mind showboating.
I don't either.
I think that's exciting. I think young fans like that stuff. But if you lose, it's going to come back in your face. Teams will stick it to your fans.
That's what it is.
That's part of it is. It's trash talk.
But I think the trash talking, like the showboating stuff, it makes it interesting.
It does.
It's like now you got to come with your best. I'm trash talking, so the next time Naylor go against Cole, he gonna throw his best pitches out there, and if Naylor hits him and takes him out the park, then he gonna say, "I'm just better than you." That's how I look at it.
Naylor actually in that at bat with second and third, one out, hit a bullet right up the middle.
I know he did
perfectly.
Absolutely.
If that gets up the middle, it's a 5-3 game.
And in most instances, that's clearly a 2-run base hit.
It's so funny, Jay. You know this as a longtime baseball fan. When we were kids and you'd watch a baseball game, if you were a diehard baseball fan like you and I are, when the ball was hit when we were kids, we knew off the bat if it was going to be a hit or not.
Yes.
Now you don't know.
You don't because you don't know where the defense is playing. Yeah.
Like that.
But next year that goes away.
Right.
Thank God.
That Naylor line drive, if we were 15, we would have been like base hit up the middle.
And you know what? Next year that's a base hit up the middle. Thank goodness, because the shift goes away.
Yeah.
The biggest I mentioned the biggest decision was I thought. So there's 2 ways to go yesterday. You could have gone, well, there's 3 ways to go. You could have gone with Civale. You could have gone with Bieber. Then there's another way.
Ball bullpen.
Yeah. Here's what I do. In an all hands on deck game, I list my pitchers that I know are available. Now, obviously, McKenzie, and for this discussion, Bieber was not available. Bieber should have been available, period. Their guy went on 3-day rest.
Yes.
Bieber's our best. I'm going to lose with our best, or I'm going to win with our best. I'm not going to lose with our number 4 starter.
Oh, G texts back.
He said he's okay.
Okay, G, is he on his way?
I don't know.
He just said I'm good.
He said I'm good.
Okay, G, we're glad that you're good. If you list the starters that are available, all the pitchers that are available, let's go through that right now.
Yeah.
We know Clase is the best. So he's number 1 at the list. I'm not advocating that you start Clase.
I got you.
But I'm saying he's your best pitcher.
Right.
I think that Morris, he pitched so well against this lineup. He's going to make my list of pitchers I can rely on. So is Henches. So is Karinchak.
Stefan.
So is Stefan. Now, there's 5.
I would have been comfortable with Morgan, too. I think he's pitched well in the postseason.
You could throw Morgan in there.
Yeah.
But where's Civale's name on that list?
Yeah. Because he's not done well against the Yankees.
No, and he was injured most of the year, and Tito said since he's come back, he's been the guy that we saw in 2021. Well, here's what I knew. I know it's hindsight. It's 2020. When he walked the leadoff hitter on 4 pitches, I immediately said, and I know, I said pull him.
Yeah.
It would be the shortest start in the history of playoff baseball.
Yeah.
But it was clear to me the moment was bigger than Civale.
It felt that way, even though he did make a very nice pitch to Judge to strike him out on a 3-2 pitch.
He did, but you know what?
That was his only good pitch.
Judge was horrible.
He was.
Until he hit the home run.
Stanton, no, listen, that's all he did.
Right, yeah.
He had 2 home runs.
2 home runs on the thing.
Stanton hit 1 something. He had 2 hits and 6 RBI. because those 2 hits were home runs.
In hindsight, Civale was the worst of the 3 choices.
Yeah.
If he wasn't comfortable going Bieber, he should have gone all bullpen. And Eli Morgan would have been a good guy to actually start the game because he's been a starter until this year.
Yeah, no, I know.
And
I know.
I would have, but in the end, they just didn't hit.
No, they didn't.
I'm about to say, at the end of the day, we
And it
fell
wouldn't matter
short because we left so many people on base, and that was kind of our thing.
The Astros are going to gobble up the Yankees, in my opinion.
How they didn't challenge the Jimenez play. I know Francona said
that one blew me.
They ran out of time, but you run out of time.
So this is not confirmed, but this comes from a really good source inside the organization. On the Sunday night 2 replays,
which they blew,
apparently the teams have access immediately to 4 different camera angles. It's either 4 or 5.
Right.
One of the camera angles was not working for the Guardians. Meantime, Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Meantime, all of them were working for the Yankees. This is what I'm told from a really reliable source.
Here come all the conspiracy theorists.
So, because the angle that wasn't working on Sunday just happened to be the conclusive and definitive angle that would have been beneficial for the Guardians to see that in advance.
But what happened
Whether or not
yesterday?
that's true, I don't know. I hope someone asks Tito today in the sort of post-mortem last day of the season news conference. Yesterday, it was just blown. Tito said he ran out of time.
Yeah.
Well,
when is that?
You could see it right away. You could see that.
Yeah.
On the replay.
And so
That
the
was
replay,
so weird. Rizzo slid in, and his glove just kind of stopped before
I know,
the base.
I know.
It looked like he was out at first.
It did.
But then
At
you
real
see-
time,
then you're
I
like,
thought
oh
he
my
was
God,
out. But then
Rizzo's
he's like, he
glove
never
never hit
got
the
him.
base.
He never got him.
No.
And the weird thing was they were so good on challenges this year. I thought they used it very, very effectively, but it bit them in the playoffs.
I hate the Yankees and the Astros. I will root for the Astros.
I'm all Astros on this one.
But I want the National League team to win the World Series. I don't want the Astros to win the World. I know the Astros will probably win the World Series.
Yeah,
But
well, they're the
I
favorites.
know our guy Steve Becker's a big Phillies
Phillies
fan.
fan.
We can't discount what the Phillies are doing.
No, man.
What
No,
the
they're
Phillies are
feeling
doing.
it
So
right
you
now.
with
And
the
unlike the
Phillies.
Guardians, I do like the Phillies because they're. This is going to sound
Well, they got a
ridiculous.
good lineup.
They have a great lineup.
Yeah.
But they were a wild card team coming in. They were kind of like, if you look at this at the teams that made the playoffs, everybody was quick to say, well, the Guardians may get by the Rays, but the Guardians have no chance. The Phillies were that team in the National League.
Right.
Nobody thought they were going to get past. They've beaten the 100-win Braves.
Yeah.
And now they have a chance to take on another giant, which they're already looking like they're going to, they're off to a
Although the
1-0
Padres
start.
beat a 111-win
Padres
Dodgers.
slayed the 111-win.
And a 100-win or 99-win Mets team, too.
They did.
They're
So-
both surprise teams. I'll root for whoever wins that series to win the World
but
Series.
I hate to call them underdogs because when you look at their payrolls, they're top 5, I think. Both are top 5. Unfortunately for the Guardians, they don't have those big bats in there like the Padres and the Phillies do. It's clear moving forward what the Guardians need. It's very, very clear.
Yeah. Do they do it?
I think they do.
I know we're going to talk more about
think they do.
This is
I
finally
believe that
it.
Paul Dolan, he is a shrewd operator. In the years where he hasn't spent, he's made the calculated decision that we're on a 3-year plan or we're on a 5-year plan. Based on what they have coming up through the pipeline again for next year, more prospects still down there.
Yes,
Despite the
tons.
fact they had 17 have their first major league at bat this year.
MLB.com had the Guardians at the All-Star break as the 3rd best minor league system, and that doesn't include most of the rookies that were on the team.
Right.
It includes,
I understand that.
It includes Arias and the guys.
But it doesn't include Quan and Gonzalez.
No, it does not include.
And
any
by
of
the
those
way,
guys.
can we lock up Quan tonight?
I would be looking to sign
And Gonzalez tonight?
Gonzalez, Quan, Jimenez, and Rosario. I think Rosario.
I would too. Those 4 are critical.
I'm locking all 4 of those guys. And McKenzie, although McKenzie's body makes me a little nervous that he's going to get injured.
I'm still betting on him long term.
But I would sign all 5 of those guys.
I
love him. Love him.
I do too, but we worry about his frame is so slight.
Yes.
But this is Slim Reaper, man.
He is the Slim Reaper, but
I love him. I'll tell you, Jay, I know we're going to talk more off-season stuff, but give me, just in 60 seconds, as I was thinking about this last night, like my ideal crazy move
Ohtani
would be Ohtani. Did you hear me say that?
No, that's
No,
mine.
listen.
That's what I said.
Trade for Ohtani. Now,
Ohtani.
that's not realistic because you'd have to give up a ton to get him even for 1 year and then he's gone. But let me give you 2 realistic moves that I think the Guardians can make. It'll cost them money, but not crazy money.
Right.
2 short-term contracts that can make big impact.
and that's what they did in 16 and 17.
Yes, with Encarnacion.
and Encarnacion, and they also they did that with the Yankees' third baseman, Josh Donaldson.
That's right.
So that's their MO. They're not going to drop $30 million a year for 8 years on anybody.
No.
That is never going to happen.
Let me give you two guys that helps the middle of the rotation and your power, and wouldn't cost you a ton of money, and it would be short-term deals. Jose Abreu and our old buddy Carlos Carrasco,
who had a great year.
Yeah, not great, but
he
good.
Won 15 games.
Good, solid. The other numbers were just good, solid.
Yeah, but
not great, but good, solid.
15 wins, I'll take.
As a third starter, and then you drop Quantrill to 4, you drop Civale to 5, get rid of Plesac, move on from him.
Yeah.
You let Hedges go. If Naylor's ready, okay. If not, find a catcher that's solid. He doesn't have to be the best defensive catcher. Solid that can hit a little.
You can't let Hedges go.
No, he's a free agent.
He's done.
Anthony just got the jersey.
That's true.
Yeah, but he's gone.
You can't.
But Jose Abreu.
He was playing in this series because of his arm. Did he throw anybody out?
No, he missed the butt.
I think he was 0 for 5 or 6.
No. But Abreu, Jay, while his home runs were down, he only hit 17, 18 home runs, but he still had 40 doubles this year.
Wow.
So, and he gets on base.
Very
he
effective.
never misses time due to injury. I know he's older, but I don't know. And he fits the culture of this team.
He does. That's not a bad idea.
I thought about J.D. Martinez, although I think he's a little further off the cliff.
I wouldn't go for Martinez.
Tiny.
I think that. Look, I know
that.
That would be
it's not going to happen.
But that is not going to happen. But I will say this. I think that, and my point on Paul Dolan, fans want to beat him up and kill him all the time for the low payroll. I've even been critical at times of the payroll.
Deservedly so.
Even coming into this year. Because when they dumped some of the big salaries in Carrasco and Lindor, and they got those cheap salaries in Rosario and Jimenez, we were told by the organization that, don't worry, we're going to reinvest that money. And they did not.
They did not. No.
And now I know they signed Jose, and kudos to the organization for
that.
that.
Left money on the table for them to still do something.
Yes, and that's
certainly
key. So we talk about the Browns and their salary cap and how they're going to roll some over to next year.
Yeah.
That's a long play move. In the moment, fans hate that.
Yeah.
Go spend it now. Go buy this player.
Right.
Go buy that player. But I think with Paul Dolan, what really bothers me more than anything is when you look at the success of all three of our teams, even with the Cavs and their championship, I just believe that over the last decade, it's been the Guardians. Their winning percentage is the best of all three, and it's not even close because for every year the Cavs had LeBron over the last 10, they didn't have LeBron. So and there were there's two different versions of the Cavs with LeBron and without LeBron under Dan Gilbert.
I would say even longer. I know it hasn't been Dolan the whole time, but for the last 25 years, almost 30 years, the Guardians, the Indians/Guardians have been by far the best organization.
Yes.
That doesn't mean they're not. Just like Terry Francona is a great manager, doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes.
Sure.
Dolan's flaw is at times he doesn't spend enough. Not all the time.
Right.
In 15, 16, 17, their payroll was reasonable.
Right. And
now
I think
it's got to be up
this is
this
my
year.
hope. This is my hope because Paul is a smart guy, and he has to, before he spends $1, he has to think about it for an hour.
Yeah.
The Yankees, before they spend $1 million, think about it for a second. That's just the reality of it.
Yes.
And all of that being said, over the last 10 years, we've won more than the Yankees.
Right.
And everybody wants to say the Yankees, look at the spending. When was their last World Series appearance?
It's been a minute.
2009? Their last win was 2000?
They've only been to the World Series once since 2000.
And so have we.
Yes.
So have we.
Yes.
So the thing of it is, I know it's easy to point at Paul and say the payroll, but I do believe, and I have expectations that this is going to come to fruition, especially because he's taken on some minority owners, which can help with capital.
Yeah.
I believe that they're going to look at the landscape and say, we're really close. We're closer than we thought we would be.
Yeah.
And we do need two. I think we need 2 bats, not 1, 2. Go out and get the bats. And I agree with you. Short-term, established players who are on a prove-it year, maybe not over 35. I would like to see them 30 to 33. Even sign a guy to a big deal with a second-year option, which is big. So the player would be more likely to lock up for 2 years. Because I believe this Guardians window is way more than 1 year. You've got to sign the 4 core that we talked about.
Yeah.
Have to re-sign those guys. And I do think that, I know the discussion was, what are we going to do with Bieber? You keep Bieber. Bieber's your ace.
Yeah,
Look,
they're going to trade him at the end of next year.
I hope they don't.
Well, I hope they sign
hope they
him.
don't.
I think I'd love for them to sign him, but I think realistically, But I think they will keep him for one more year because by the time we get to 24, those young pitchers will be ready to go. Hopefully.
I mean, think about it. How rare is it that your ace gets one start in a five-game series?
Yeah.
It almost never happens. And that's what happened to this team.
Yeah.
And it's my firm belief that if Bieber started yesterday, they win. I just believe that.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. But
I think it would have been a different game.
Yeah, for the past couple of games, we started off first inning like down 3 or 2-0, right?
Well, we dug holes. In game one, we took the lead first, I believe.
Yes.
We did dig some holes.
Yeah.
We dug out of them. Obviously, game 3 was ridiculous how they came back.
What
I was disappointed in some in-game decisions. What was Rosario doing, bunting?
That was terrible.
What was that, Bull?
That was terrible. I don't understand.
I wondered if it was on his own.
You're one of the 3 best hitters on the team.
Why are you laying down a bunt?
Doesn't make it. Quan just got a base hit.
I know. You just opened the game with and by the way, Quan, he had over 400 for the series.
Awesome.
He was the guy who was most reliable.
Yeah. And kudos to Cortes. I thought he'd struggle on short rest. He didn't.
He didn't.
They got him in trouble with that bases loaded. He got out of it. He pitched well. And their bullpen did the job.
The one thing that really sticks with me about watching the Yankees this closely for the last 5 games, and this is why they're the Yankees, the Guardians have holes in their lineup. They really do. If you get through the first 5, really, because Jimenez was a ghost.
Yeah.
If you get through the first 5, you can click it to cruise control. The last 3 guys in the Guardians lineup just didn't contribute.
Well, Jimenez was hitting 7th yesterday,
I know he was. Previously, he was hitting 6th.
They have 3 guys. They have 3 spots in the lineup right now that are close to 0.
And even when you're with the Yankees, you got Bader, who led the Yankees in home runs for the series with 3. He's on the back end of their lineup, so there's no working around anybody. There were times yesterday when I said, you can't pitch to him in this spot. I didn't like pitching to Stanton in that spot.
Right.
But you can't because the guy behind him is Donaldson and he'll kill you.
The Yankees have a better lineup than the Guardians, no doubt. They do have some holes in their lineup, but they're not as large as the Guardians ones. And the Guardians didn't Bader is a guy who's not traditionally been that good a hitter.
You can't rely on him to do that.
The Guardians haven't had a guy. The Guardians guys like that didn't guys like Straw and Hedges didn't
Nobody
have
stepped up.
that miraculous big series or even big game. It's unfortunate. One other guy, I'm just kind of thinking of some free agents. I haven't fully gotten the free agent mode. I'm trying to think of good guys that could be bargains for the Guardians that are a little younger. Michael Conforto is a guy who was really good for the Mets.
Is he available?
He missed the entire season due to injury.
I know he did. So he might be a bargain.
He is a free agent.
Oh, wow.
So he might be a guy that's looking to sign like a 2-year prove-it deal.
Right.
And I thought this guy was on the verge of becoming an all-star player. And, so that's a guy, and he's still young. He's in his 20s still. So,
yeah. The one thing that I'd say is that they can't, it's got to be a low-risk deal. And by that, I mean it can't be someone that you have to hope turns into something.
No.
It has to be somebody who has done it and has done it for a number of years, and you can almost rubber stamp that production into this lineup.
You know what it sound like? Sound like they need me.
The bottom line is, if you're gonna stick with Miles Straw as your center fielder because he's a great fielder
and I think they should.
Runner,
I think they should.
Then he's got to be the only hole in the lineup.
I agree 1,000%.
He's got to be ninth.
You can't have a Hedges and Straw 8-9 spot.
And then even the other spot, which was Arias and Brennan, those guys weren't ready for that.
No.
Maybe they will be.
I hope so.
At catcher,
if one of those two become the Gonzalez of next year, and I think it's possible that either one could.
Yeah.
If one of those two become the Gonzalez, this team is positioned to compete and make a deep run.
There's no doubt. And I think Oscar Gonzalez might not happen in 23, maybe. Not all these guys are going to be better next year. It just doesn't work that way.
No, you're right.
In baseball, right? I mean, baseball's the weirdest game. Cody Bellinger was like Rookie of the Year, then MVP, and now he sucked for 3 years.
Yeah.
So you can't explain it. But I do think Oscar Gonzalez, whether it's this 23 or 24, is eventually going to be a 30-plus home run guy.
I hope so.
He looks like he's going to be that kind of player. Now,
he does.
There's no guarantee.
He's still a little army with his swing.
Yeah, but he's young and raw.
But he'll get it.
But there's a lot of
Gonzalez showed me that he is not afraid of no moment.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No.
When need to, and he is very.
In fact, he rises, and he did that in the regular season too. His batting average 6th inning and later, and close and late
clutch.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
as
next
a lot of
year,
the Guardians were.
This team will be a lot more seasoned when and if they make the playoffs. I think
You're
they
right.
will, but
couple of final thoughts.
Yeah.
The Yankees for the series, and this proves again this analytic stat, which I hate because I hate that it's a homer or nothing game. The Yankees in the series hit 182.
did they really? I didn't realize
182.
Yeah.
They hit 9 home runs.
They got the big homers.
They hit 9
That's not even
home runs.
182?
182. So again, it's proving the metric that batting
Yeah.
average means nothing if you can
It's
rely
true.
on the home run. Another thing, careful with your criticism of Tito, and here's why. And there's been a lot of it, and it's warranted, but just be careful because he's had some health issues in the last couple of years. And I don't think for 1 second that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But stranger things in the sports world have happened. I don't want everybody to come down on Tito. This is Tito's fault. This is Tito's fault. This team isn't where they are without Tito.
No chance.
And we don't want to find out where they would be without Tito.
No.
We do not want the news conference on Friday of this week to Tito stand up in front of the cameras and say, I've had a hell of a ride, guys, but I'm riding into the sunset.
Anything.
You'd find out real quickly how much you'd miss Tito and the decision that he made in Game 5.
I couldn't agree more. Every manager makes mistakes.
Yes.
You see, no matter how good a manager you are, you make mistakes. But what makes Tito special is the way he relates to the players.
That's it.
The way he motivates players, the way he leads players, the way he encourages other players to lead other players. That's what makes him so special. In-game management, yeah, I mean, there's been some mistakes made here and there. But I agree with everything you said. I will say, though, that, yes, Francona's old at this point, and he's had health problems. However, it seems to me that unless he's just forced to stop due to health, that you're going to have to drag this uniform off this guy.
And I hope that's the case.
Because
he's not the kind of guy to walk away from a team like this.
He played baseball his whole life, and he was in the big leagues. He's been coaching
Yes.
and then managing for years. Like, I feel like this guy never wants to retire.
My
but,
fear coming into this season was they didn't sign Jose and that
he
would have walked.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you look in the dugout without Jose,
Yeah.
this is a 60-70 win team. I'm sorry to say that, but he means that much to this ball club.
But I think he was energized by this young team.
I'm so
I
glad
agree, and I
we
think
ain't-
he's going to come back, and
the
I
game
hope he
hasn't-
does.
Not like Tony La Russa, the game's passed him by.
Yes.
It's clear.
And his players don't relate to him.
Right.
They
and
hate
not
him.
at all.
No.
They love Francona.
They do. And you know what? So here's the mistake Tito made yesterday. Tito made the mistake in believing in his guys. He believes in his guys.
Yeah.
When the whole Cleveland media was screaming, get Straw and Hedges out of this lineup, they're killing us.
Yeah.
Aaron Boone was hearing the same thing in New York, and Boone made knee-jerk changes.
He did, certainly did.
Knee-jerk changes.
Yes.
He switched his shortstop out.
Yep.
And I was stunned by that. I
Yeah.
just thought, wow, what must the players be thinking in the dugout?
Yeah.
One mistake and I'm out of the lineup? Tito's not that guy. He believes in his players. He believed wrongly, but he believed that Civale was going to get it done.
Right.
I mean, he stayed with him for 4 hitters. It was 3 hitters too long.
It was.
And it is what it is at this point.
He the pool
All right, it's
off the wall.
11:30, so we've got to move on.